So in this video, I'm going to dive into 2 Timothy chapter 2, and this is from verse 11 to verse 12. And it says, "This is a faithful saying, for if we died with him, we shall also live with him. If we endure, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he also will deny us. If we are faithless, he remains faithful. He cannot deny himself." So this is a letter that Paul sent to Timothy, and it's basically a word of like encouragement and everything. So if we start off with the first bit, so it says, "For if we died with him, we shall also live with him." So when Jesus died on the cross, he did this for us. He did this so we could have a union with him and have an everlasting life in God's kingdom. So when he died, we accept Jesus. There's then a union between us, and that gives us that that green card, should I say? Green. That's probably the cringiest way to say it, but it gives us that everlasting life that we are supposed to have with God and His kingdom. Now, in the next bit it says, "If we endure, we shall also reign with him. If we deny him, he will deny us." So during our Christian life, we will go through trials, temptations, and stuff like that. And the idea is just to push through them, any temptations, to just, go back to the word, pray to him. Don't fall into them temptations. When trials happen, don't turn away from God. Just keep pushing. And when we do that, then we will have, we will reign with him in his kingdom. Now, if we deny him, he also will deny us. Now, going on to this part here, this part can sometimes be a little bit misinterpreted. So it doesn't necessarily mean, if you deny him that you will not, you'll not go to heaven. It's not talking about kind of, salvation in this part, but what it's actually talking about is what can happen in this world. As I said before, that there's loads of temptations, and what can happen is we can fall into living by the flesh, and that could mean basically that, say in a situation you could be doing something that isn't of God, or you could be doing something to fit in with the crowd, and that could basically involve denying, Jesus, just to fit into the crowd. And that's basically what this point is saying. If you deny him, that, he will deny you too. And then the next bit, the final bit, it says, "If we are faithless, he remains faithful. He cannot deny himself." So sometimes in times we can lose faith, or we can turn away from God, but here's the thing: God still remains faithful to us. He still loves us. His love will never change for us. He's just waiting there, waiting for us to turn back to him. Because that's his grace. That is God's grace. He's always open. His arms are always open for us to run back to him. It never changes. And for him to, change it, and to be like, you know what, you're faithless, so I'm gonna be faithless to you. It goes against his whole character. That's why it says he cannot deny himself, because that's his whole grace. His whole grace is to, stay faithful for us, because he loves us. He knows that because of this world and how this world revolves, and the temptations, everything, that at times you may turn against him, or you may lose faith, but he's still there. He still loves us. He's still there waiting for you to come back to him. Because there will be sometimes where you kind of question, you'll question your faith, but God will still stay faithful to you. He will always stay faithful to you.